Hey everybody, BeyondDrewTV here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Riverside Splash Park. We are up to episode 3 today. And we are starting off with a water coaster to get things going. And yeah, I think this was in the past video, probably the past 2 videos that we had from the intro. I think this was maybe one of the most highly requested things to put into our water park here, our splash park. And that was a water coaster. There were so many different variations that people called this. I loved it. And everyone was always like, you know, the water coaster where there's like, it jets you up. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Probably half the comments were like, some form of, I hope you know what I'm talking about, and I absolutely do. I definitely knew what you were talking about, and yeah, no, this is a very, very fun ride to create. Actually, this is a little bit of a recreation, not fully, but I did take heavy inspiration from a ride that I actually used to work at called Splash Blaster at Magic Waters. It was built in, I believe it was 2000 or 2001, so very, very old attraction if it was still around today. But yeah, no, when I was a lifeguard at Magic Waters, I was fortunate enough to work on this ride, and yeah, no, this is my favorite attraction at the park, hands down. In the morning time, we had a basically a run through of all the attractions, and we would send rafts through by themselves. But after that, after the rafts went through by themselves on the attraction, it was up to the lifeguards to go through to kind of be the first human test subject of the day. Hey, come back and make sure the ride doesn't, like, you know, kill you or anything. Okay, cool, I'll go. But anyways, yeah, so for Splash Blaster, I was always the first one to volunteer to want to ride that thing because it was so much fun, and there was very, very little risk of any spider webs or spiders or any other creepy crawlies that would be in the tube system, because there was a lot of water jetting through the tubes, so it would kind of clear itself out. Other attractions that didn't have the water jet, which was basically all of them, you'd always run into a giant spider web in your face by the time you got down to the end of it, and I'm not a fan of that. So, but anyway, since we're continuing on, we're kind of jumping all over the place today, and that is a bit of the theme for this video. Yeah, we get the Splash Blaster built, and then we jumped over to the wave pool, and I did redo the wave pool. There were a few comments saying that it didn't look quite like a regular wave pool, and I totally agree. So we made it more cone shape, and that took a hot minute. I did not anticipate the shaping of the wave pool to be so complicated, but hot diggity dang, it was. But anyways, yeah, we placed the wave pool, turned it a little bit as well, so it gives a new look to the park as we're getting to the midsection. I'd say this is about the midsection where the wave pool is of the park, so yeah, it gives a little bit different look. But yeah, as we're moving on, working on the Splash Blaster area, this is going to be the last part of the time lapse, because yeah, we're going to jump into what I'm sure is I'm almost 100% sure it's the thumbnail today, and what most people are probably stoked to go see is going to be our little play area, our splash pad play area, and the lazy river. And yeah, reason we're going to show that in real time is it just kind of looks better in real time rather than the time lapse. And yeah, that's just the big thing, is just the time lapse for it was similar to how I've explained interiors, where it just gets a little bit hectic and a little bit not great for time lapses. The camera's all over the place. I try and remember as I'm recording to keep the camera still, just like now when we're doing the Splash Blaster. I'm aware of the time lapse going on. I'm trying not to move the camera too much as we're making our fun little sign here, but you know, again, that does happen, and especially like I was saying for the splash pad area, it just became a hot jumbled mess. I tried to do some edits and cuts for it, and it just was like, this is not working. So yeah, we're gonna actually just go take a walk around the park, or maybe like a little drone, I guess you'd say, fly around the park, since we're gonna do it from above right after the time lapse is done. And looking at the time lapse here, we are kind of getting close to the end of it as we're just theming out the front of our little queue line here for the Splash Blaster, just putting some surfboards and all that kind of fun stuff. Speaking of the Splash Blaster, though, and some updates coming to Planet Coaster that were announced by Frontier, as of now, it's kind of funny. It actually kind of sucks for guests. There can only be one tube going through the attraction at one time, and this is a very, very long ride. I did, like I said, I didn't try to recreate, but I did try to get kind of close to how Splash Blaster IRL was. But yeah, no, it's a longer ride. The chain lift, or the, what do you call it, the lift lift up to the top of the slide is pretty slow, and it does build anticipation in real life. So yeah, no, it kind of stinks because the queue line is really long, and basically by the midpoint of the game, most guests don't ride the ride just because it's always having a really long queue line and everything. But yeah, no, so we're gonna jump into the real time of Riverside Splash Park. Yeah, let's go ahead and show off that splash pad and everything. Alrighty, welcome in to Riverside Splash Park, and yeah, we are starting near the entrance area. I always like to kind of do a little flyover from the entrance to the back of the park just to kind of see our progress. And yeah, speaking of progress, we did update the giant bowl or giant funnel here. That's what it is, right? The giant funnel here, the colors of it to the park colors. Someone mentioned that instead of having those kind of faded Joker-looking colors, basically the pink and green, let's go ahead and change that over to the park colors. And I agree. Kind of gives some more cohesion to the whole area and everything. So yeah, but let's go ahead and make our way towards the back of the park after pointing that out. And you can see kind of how everything came together with the Splash Blaster area and the wave pool area. And it's so great how much difference a bunch of trees can do, right? So have a lot of these, what are these ones called? The date palm mediums. Have a bunch of the date palms around. And yeah, really like how they add to the ambience of the area, kind of combined with the regular kind of Midwest trees and everything. So but as we move forward, just on the left-hand side, we have our, what's going to be the staff room. So if you do want to play this park as a full-on with settings on and all that kind of fun stuff, this is a area where the staff room would go. And yeah, when I was working here as a lifeguard, this is where I would spend a lot of my time in this boring little building back here, waiting for your shift to get called and stuff like that. So yeah, that was break room central there. Really boring building, but hey, it meant something to me, so I got to show it off. But let's go ahead and move forward again to the left here. A lot of people mentioned these private cabanas, and I thought that was a great idea. So we have a little private cabana island over here. You can imagine there'd be some staff that would, you know, make sure that you're able to go in here and everything. But yeah, inside of the cabanas, past the drapes, we have just a little setup. I made a little fridge here using a art shape scaled down, and I believe it was a lamp piece. Yeah, a lamp. The end of a lamp hook here, basically, and then underneath that is the flume support connector. And that flume support connector, being able to resize that is really nice, because it's a really nice object there to use for a lot of different things. So, and then yeah, I took a lot of the apples and kind of recolored them to look like different fruits and everything. And then you'd imagine there'd be a couch in here or some other, maybe a TV as well. We can maybe set that up in later episodes, kind of detail this out a little bit more. But yeah, there's your private cabanas running at what, like probably $100 a day or something like that for you and your family. So there you go. But let's go ahead and move back over to the right hand side. Built a two new buildings and brought over, we can see the thing in the back, the snack shack, and turned it into Pizza Paradise over here. So yeah, just a few more quick service buildings, since we are getting a little bit far away from our entrance area. So go ahead and appease the people over here. We also have a restroom and changing room in here as well, and then threw up some of these. I really love these posters that we have in game, and being able to scale them, right? Really adds some flavor to these otherwise pretty dang boring buildings. But that was the point, was to make these buildings very boring. This information booth here was probably the most gussied up building that I did in the entire thing, disregarding what's in the background. But actual singular buildings, this was the most gussied up one that I think I did and everything. So but yeah, moving on, let's go ahead, and I keep alluding to it in the background. Let's move forward and get a great view of the Riverside Splash Pad. I don't have an official name for this yet. It is based off of Hurricane Harbor in from Six Flags, specifically the Hurricane Harbor Rockford, which used to be Magic Waters. So took a lot of influence from that lazy river and the splash pad there. And again, I keep mentioning it, but you know, having used to work there, I do have a lot of kind of knowledge of the place, kind of how it's all laid out, remembering everything. But yeah, here is the whole layout of the lazy river and our splash pad. And love how this came out, but it was a son of a gun to get going. I learned a lot from this build, especially with lazy rivers, because yeah, I had to redo the lazy river a good probably 3 or 4 times, and it was a bit agonizing, especially as we get in closer and see the details of all the rock work and other things that I had to keep cohesive and everything. So, but anyways, yeah, I learned a lot about lazy rivers. Glad I learned it now, so that in future builds this will be a lot easier for me and everything. So we have our little, this is supposed to be the only entrance into the lazy river. However, I'm sure you've seen it on other people's builds and everything. The guests kind of treat the lazy river as a pool, and they just kind of jump in wherever they want. It is what it is, right? But yeah, this is supposed to be the main entrance into the lazy river. Grab a tube if you need to. We had this tube cage in other areas of the park. This is another great place to have it. However, I haven't seen a single guest have a tube in my lazy river, and I'm like, what the heck? I've seen it in Geekism's video and a few other guys' videos where they have their tube, so maybe I'm missing something there. I have an information booth out. I believe I have all the facility booths out, so if they need to buy one, they should be able to. But anyways, yeah, I haven't seen a single one do it, but they do seem to like to swim to about the midpoint here. Oh, hey, they're actually going a little bit further, and then turn around. So the lazy river gets used not as a lazy river at all, but it's okay. It looks fun. But for this lazy river to start off, you're supposed to go left to right, and I like this little island. This was again taken from my reference photo of Magic Waters, and yeah, I really love this little private island with all the trees around it, and you have the lazy river down at the bottom, so you can kind of have a fun little view of that. And yeah, on the lazy river you have the right side, which is pretty obvious to have all the rapids and waterfalls and everything. Left side, hey, if you don't want to get so wet, there you go. And we have a few more instances of that as we're going through. And yeah, no, as we're going through as well, you're going to see some staircases here. These are non-functional. However, in most lazy rivers, there's the main entrance, and then you're going to see little like emergency exits throughout the lazy river as well. So that's kind of what this represents here. So even though people are floating through it, that is made of plaster pieces resized down, the non-gridded plaster piece. I believe it is the 4 meter half width plaster wall, scaled down, and then kind of coupled on itself to look like a staircase, right? So I'll be able to keep going down our lazy river. We'll get to all the fun stuff on the right hand side in just a little bit. But yeah, no, you'll notice our lifeguards here. Something I wish we could have for the lifeguards, and when I was a lifeguard, this is something we had, is kind of roving patrol lifeguards. So I've had to place quite a few different lifeguards here to get the safety rating boosted up for the pool, so guests will jump in and enjoy it. However, in real life, there would just probably be one lifeguard here roving from emergency stair 1 over to like Pavilion 1 or something like that. That's kind of like what it was called. You were called just like Pavilion 1 area or something like that, and you would rove back and forth through here, because not to diminish the safety of lazy rivers, they definitely are dangerous as far as, you know, water goes. You know, any body of water that people have to swim in is considered dangerous when you're a lifeguard kind of thing. But yeah, for lazy rivers, it's a lot slower moving. It's a lot easier to keep an eye on people. So yeah, you could have these roving patrols. So yeah, it'd be really cool if we could like draw out or have a zone and just have these lifeguards walking back and forth between different zones and everything. So as we move forward here, love this idea again from, I remember this very vividly from the lazy river at Magic Waters. And this is, yeah, kind of a wooden pavilion with these sprayers underneath. And I love the way that the lighting looks. Let's actually, I'll show the example. I took a picture of this because it was like really cool how it looked. So yeah, that's it, between 8 and 9. So here's 9 a.m. Love how the lighting and the shadows and everything look, right? That is just so nice. And then we take it a step further, and then you go to 8 a.m. and look at the difference. It looks so nice. Man, the lighting in this game is the big bump up. And you know, I just noticed this as well. The lights on in the lazy river also turn on, and that's really cool with the glow. Okay, that's fun. So, but yeah, no, really fun to mess with the lighting, especially a sandbox builder like myself. I find myself oftentimes having the lighting fixed to around 12 or 13, and you don't kind of miss out on some of those fun lighting aspects. But I'm thinking about uploading this pavilion to the game. It's not only good for just, you know, lazy rivers. I think it's good for also plazas and seating areas and stuff like that. So I do have one version with these sprayers, so that would be good on a lazy river. Then I have this next one to give everyone a break from these sprayers, have just a normal one. So I think I will upload this to the workshop, so keep an eye out for that. And speaking of the workshop, as we're perusing our way through the more mellow parts of the lazy river, Riverside Splash Park, this park is always uploaded and updated, I should say, on the, oh, it's kind of cool, it almost looks like they're using the stairs, is constantly updated on the workshop. So if you've subscribed to it, be sure to check back on Riverside Splash Park constantly, because I'm always kind of updating progress. Even before a video goes out, you can kind of get a sneak peek into what the build is going to look like before it comes up and everything. So but as we're moving through, started to place, especially in heavier areas, this is the main emergency exit for the lazy river, and started to place some more permanent concrete areas for our lifeguards to hang out at as well. Didn't do that everywhere, just kind of in, again, more of the busier areas. I do remember through this area after the splash pavilion area that it was kind of all concreted in up to about here, and I think that is just because this is an emergency exit area and it just kind of needed to be a little bit more accessible. I'm not sure, just it was there. Okay. But yeah, moving our way around, you get these really fun views of Splash Blaster, right? And then yeah, we're moving around, it's really chill, it's really fun, and then we get to our second split off area where you can go ahead and go under the waterfall if you'd like to, or you can go around to the chill section, and then it finally wraps back around to the entrance area. So yeah, that is our lazy river that makes a giant island out of the really fun part here, which is going to be our splash pad. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And man, I was so close, and I should have watched Jonty's video beforehand where he was making his amazing splash pad, excuse me, and tippy bucket, where he tried to do the same thing, but I built all of my slides. You can see these are all in-game slides here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and you know, made the slides, kind of figured out that you didn't have to do the giant stairs by hitting control when you're on the entrance here. If you don't know what I mean, let me show you here. Normally when the game first started, you had these giant stairs, and someone pointed out, they're like, hey, if you hit control, you can do normal paths, or normal entrances, basically. I was like, whoa, what the heck? I didn't know that. But yeah, my idea was to hook all this up and have people be able to, you know, go and ride the slides. Wrong. Nope, that doesn't happen. Yeah, so I tried to connect it to the pool. This is a shallow pool underneath here. And no, it doesn't work like that. You have to connect it to the path, and that's the only way it happens. So yeah, that's a bummer. And again, I know Jonty mentioned this in his video. If you haven't watched Geekism's video on this, be sure to go watch that. He built an amazing splash pad, a totally different kind of style, but kind of same idea. But anyways, yeah, he went through the same hardships, and I wish I would have watched his video sooner. But anyways, as we're looking into this, I had a ton of fun building this. And again, it's all non-functional, unfortunately, but you know, still fun nonetheless. And remember earlier I was talking about that, what was it called? The piece, the cork piece or whatever it is. I don't know, it's all hidden underneath here. But anyways, that rivet piece or whatever, yeah, I scaled that down and built these little water guns that go off every so often. Also made some netting, you know, you crawl through the netting and everything. Just, you know, there's wheels and pressure and all that kind of fun stuff that's going off randomly all the time. Try to get everything just to be on random timing things instead of being looped. We have our, you know, open at your own risk, and actually there's a, I wonder if you can hear it. I have my sound turned down, but there's supposed to be like a boing kind of noise. When we get our own custom sounds and custom noises in game, I'm definitely going to add my own, but yeah, that's supposed to be kind of a little gag back there. What else? There's just so many fun things, right, that you can do with this. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm going to upload this to the workshop as well. I have a few of these spread around where it's supposed to be, you come here and you, actually there's one I have timed. I believe this one is on a time signature, but this one you're supposed to kind of spin it really fast as it gets filled up with water, and then it kind of spins water all over the place there. Did we just miss it? Nope, not yet. So yeah, no, there's just tons of really, really fun things all over the place to get guests wet in our giant splash pad, right? And then the big main one, you heard me kind of mention it there, what time is it? Because yeah, on the hour, every hour, we have our Riverside Tippy Bucket. The official tippy bucket of Riverside go off. But we're actually just going to play it here so y'all can see it because we have quite a few in-game time to go. Where's a good place to see it? How about right here? How about right here? All right, let's go ahead and play it. And there it goes. Look out. Yeah, I love how that looks. It's a little jank, it's a little whatever, but until we maybe get a DLC or something that is a splash pad and maybe they can get a functioning tippy bucket, that's kind of the best we have right now, right? So yeah, I know John T made one, he's the OG, and then I went ahead and took my hand at doing my own little tippy bucket. So let's do it one more time. Ready, everyone? Tippy bucket! But yeah, no, that's a fun little thing. I think that's really, really fun to do, using the trigger sequence to get it all kind of working together. But yeah, the end result is it's really, really fun there. So but hey, overall that is, oh no, it's not. I guess I did. So I did, like I said, take the Snack Shack. I did just copy and pasted over here twice and kind of colored it and hashed it out for different things here. So nothing too spectacular. If you've seen, oh, I need to fill that in with one more thing. Haha. There we go. I found something to do. But anyways, yeah, that kind of wraps up probably one of the biggest expansions in Splash Park history, Riverside Splash Park history here, with our new Splash Blaster over here. And then, of course, our huge Lazy River splash pad enhancement here. So yeah, no, really, really big improvement here. And yeah, that wraps up this episode. We're going to take a ride on the Splash Blaster, of course, at the end of the episode. So stick around for that. But yeah, I'm thinking we might only have about 1 or 2 more episodes of Riverside Splash Park. I've mentioned it before, but I do not want this to become a fill the map kind of park. It's not that at all. I learned from Planet Coaster 1 and Planet Zoo that is kind of fun to do, but that's very, very taxing and results in a lot of breaks from doing things. So, but anyways, yeah, I think the next expansion and maybe the last expansion of Riverside is going to be right over here. And I'm leaning towards definitely having 2 slides that are the drop straight down, go really, really, really fast slides right here. And then one other complex. We've had some suggestions. There it is. For the bowl slides, like the 2 bowl slides there. We've had some suggestions for just some more body slides to go really, really, everyone really wants the really, really fast body slides. So I think that maybe we'll just do that, like a whole speed run, like body slide area. But no, sound off in the comments below. Love to hear your thoughts because I'd like to do at least 2 more slide complexes over there to kind of wrap up my version of Riverside Splash Park. Because again, this is being uploaded or is on the Frontier Workshop. So check it out. I'll link the code that we have to do down below if you want to just search that, make it easier on you. But yeah, after I upload it, I'll make sure to have little expansion paths going out each way so that you can kind of take the mantle and become the new owner and builder of Riverside Splash Park. And then be sure to, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord. All the socials are down below, and tag me in what you end up doing with Riverside Splash Park, because I'd love to see it. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap up our episode here of Riverside Splash Park. Sound off in the comments below. What do you think of all the fun stuff that we added here? Yeah, what do you think about a DLC of a splash pad DLC? How do you think that would look? Could we even feasibly do that and everything? But yeah, no, really, really curious what y'all think. And yeah, hey, until the next episode of Riverside Splash Park, don't forget to hit subscribe and like on your way out. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one.